Grooming gangs in the UK are called lover boys. Yeah? In India it's called love jihad. We call it grooming gangs, but in Holland it's called lover boys because the young Muslim males make the young girl fall in love with them and they introduce them to prostitution. That's what happens.
Across the globe, a sinister plot unfolds. One that doesn't just threaten nations, but strikes at the heart of our societies. It's women. Islamist extremists are waging a war not just for territory, but for souls, using women as their primary targets in a calculated strategy to Islamize the world. From the streets of Europe to the villages of Asia, women are being groomed, manipulated, and victimized to serve a radical agenda. But why? And how deep does this conspiracy go? Let's expose the truth. In the United Kingdom, grooming gangs, predominantly of Pakistani Muslim origin, have systematically targeted young, vulnerable girls, exploiting them for years. Over 1,400 children in Rotherham alone were abused, with authorities turning a blind eye due to fears of being labeled racist. These gangs aren't just criminals. They're foot soldiers in a broader ideological battle, using sex as a weapon to subjugate and control. In Holland, these so-called lover boys lure young girls with promises of love, only to traffic them into prostitution. These men, often from Moroccan and Turkish backgrounds, are not just pimps. They're agents of a culture that views women as commodities. The Netherlands' liberal policies have been exploited, turning a blind eye to this modern form of slavery, all in the name of multiculturalism. India faces its own battle with love jihad, where Muslim men are accused of seducing Hindu women to convert them to Islam. While some dismiss this as a conspiracy, the reality is that interfaith marriages are being used as tools for conversion, with women coerced into changing their faith. This isn't love, it's a tactic, a means to an end in the quest for demographic dominance. And in Bangladesh, Hindu women are raped, abducted, and murdered during orchestrated attacks on minority communities. In 2024, over 1,000 such attacks were reported, with women bearing the brunt of the violence. These aren't random acts, they're part of a pattern, a strategy to eliminate resistance and impose Islamic rule. But this isn't just about individual countries, it's a global phenomenon. Take ISIS, for example. They've kidnapped and enslaved thousands of Yazidi women, justifying their actions with twisted interpretations of Islam. In their magazine Dabiq, they openly discuss capturing and selling these women as slaves. But it's not just non-Muslim women who are targeted. Muslim women who don't conform to their strict codes are also murdered or kidnapped. And then there's the recruitment. Women from Tunisia, Malaysia, Europe, and beyond are lured online with promises of purpose, only to become jihadi brides or fighters. The Atlantic Council reports that ISIS has even legitimized sexual jihad, where women are recruited for temporary marriages to fighters. This is not just exploitation, it's a calculated move to ensure the continuation of their ideology through the next generation. And how do they do this? Through social media, where they create safe spaces for young Muslim women facing discrimination, offering them a sense of belonging and purpose. They use personal communication, moving from public posts to private messages, eventually indoctrinating them into their cause. The European Commission has documented how these groups exploit vulnerabilities, using aesthetics and religious legitimation to make their messages appealing. It's a sophisticated strategy, one that preys on the emotional and spiritual needs of young women. The evidence is overwhelming. Women are being targeted because they are seen as the key to the future. By controlling women, extremists believe they can control the next generation, ensuring the spread of their ideology. From grooming gangs to online recruitment, from forced conversions to sexual slavery, the methods may vary, but the goal is the same: Islamization. So why are we still silent? Why do we allow political correctness to blind us to this reality? It's time to wake up and see the truth. Islamist extremists are not just fighting for land, they're fighting for minds and bodies, starting with our women. The question is, will we stand by and let this happen? Or will we fight back to protect our daughters, our sisters, our mothers? The choice is ours and time is running out.